Alright, so this is analysis 2 on Black is the Body. This one's specifically about teaching the N-word. Starting it off, how would I explain this to someone who has not read it? I would say this particular part of this story is kind of the author is trying to get everybody else's opinion on the N-word and how it affects them. And she uses almost completely white people except for her friend Anne, who is her friend in quilting, or sewing quilting, almost specifically all white people, and gets their opinion on how it affects them to hear it, why they won't say it, why they will say it, and just like trying to get a sense of why. Like, why is this a big deal? Who are the major people and characters? So all of her students are included in this chapter. Her husband is included. Her white friend, who she's the godfather of her kids, is included. David, her co-worker, is included. And she asks them all, how do you feel about the N-word? And I think every one of them kind of have the same understanding of, like, it's a foreign word to me. Like, it's not something that I use in my vocabulary, you know? Like, I've heard it. A lot of them have all said they've heard it, mostly from their grandparents or their aunts or their uncles, older generations, where that word was normalized. But the fact that, like, the kind of ongoing topic is, like, we can't say it. Why is the story told in this way? I believe it's told in this way to emphasize the author's, like, opinion on the N-word. And, I mean, she uses it hundreds of times in this specific, like, chapter or section. Hundreds of times. Hard R, regular, I don't even know what kind of perceptual perspective, I guess, you take on it, is used heavily. And I believe it's told in this way to keep reminding us of how often it is used in that specific race, and how often it is used in my specific race. And the author doesn't really say that she is uncomfortable about it. She does. She very explicitly explains that she's uncomfortable about it, but she's not mad that her students are saying it. She's not mad that David says it. She's not mad that Anne says it. She's not mad that John says it. Like, she's not mad at them for saying it, but they're also not all using it in derogatory ways. How am I, as a reader, making sense of things? I believe, as a reader, I'm making sense of things by really getting into the author's shoes, I guess. Obviously, I will never be in her shoes because I am not a Black African American woman. But she teaches a African American autobiography class with 11 white students. So I'm kind of putting myself in the place of, like, one of the white students, I guess. And, like, how she would be lecturing me. Not lecturing me about saying it, but lecturing me about why is this word so important? Because it's important to her. She does mention that one of the most memorable moments of when she was called the N-word was when she was 16, and an older gentleman just sitting at the stoplight just turned to her and said it. And this shocked David. Her coworker David. Like, they kind of have the same reaction, like, what? You know? How does this connect to the concepts and theories we've discussed in class? This connects to the concepts and theories of, like, especially that we talked about today, like the social norm and, like, how everything around us affects us. This connects to a larger social and cultural issue for many reasons. I feel like a lot of white individuals just think that they have the audacity to like be able to just throw the word around because they're not using it in a derogatory way, but that's not the case. The case is that it originated from slaves, from black African American slaves. And the way that this word has grown to be a specific name for African Americans, it's not okay for others to say it, in my personal opinion. Is the story effective? How? Why? What did it make you think about? Re-examining from your own life experiences. It really made me think about, like, my boyfriend's black and my best friend's black, and it really made me like want them to read this as well, because now I want to ask them, how does the N-word affect you? And like I can ask them that. They're not very serious people, so it's not going to really affect them the way that I have been affected by reading this. Just because it's just on a deeper level in the book, rather than asking, a significant other, a best friend, a boyfriend, how does the N-word affect you? And I think that's something I'm really going to have to take into consideration, like how to go about asking that, because I don't want to be offensive, I want to know, because the only perspective I have seen is Emily's, her students, David, John, and like these are all adults, and I want to know how it affects people in my life as well.